All right, you're just in time for Women at the Forefront. It's a segment whereby we bring you women who are doing amazing things for the community. And today is no different. I have with me ladies who are doing great work for the community and specifically for teenage girls. I have with me, beginning on my far left, we have Svetlana, who is the country director for Sky Girls Kenya. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And then right next to her, we have Brida Kamau, and Brida is the community manager, Sky Girls Kenya.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you ladies on board. Let us first just begin by understanding what Sky Girls is all about. I can see you've come with quite a number of things. We'll get into that, but first let's understand what Sky Girls is all about.
Sure. So Sky Girls is a teen girl empowerment movement. So it's a behavior change initiative, right? We work with teen girls aged 12 to 19. And it's an initiative that focused in Nairobi and Kisumu, but because we have a lot of different assets, it also has a spillover effect nationwide. So Sky Girls is an initiative that handles multiple issues. It initially started in 2020 as a tobacco prevention initiative. At the moment, it became a multi-issue initiative where we focus on tobacco prevention, empowerment, but also HPV vaccine, education, and pregnancy prevention, right? It's a very fun initiative. You look at all these colors, you know, so Sky is a very different initiative from a lot of other programs because everything we do is really co-created with teen girls and it's centered around passion points. And if you ask a teenage girl, they would say, oh, Sky Girls is a sisterhood of confident girls who are true to themselves, you know? Yeah. So, and that's really how we want them to feel, because at the end of the day, all we want to do is to empower girls to be more confident.
So the reason why Sky Girls began all together, from what you've just said, it's all about bringing that that sisterhood, you know, girls coming together and allowing them to be, giving them space to just be themselves, and also instilling confidence in them, as well as the key issues that you're looking at: tobacco prevention, HPV vaccine, as well as pregnancy prevention. So you've been going around, you know, the country, Kisumu and Nairobi, and I think there's one event I attended for Sky Girls in Kasarani. You held that. It was a whole concert. It was big. So even as you're working with these girls, getting to interact with them, you know, when you do, just how would you say you've gotten to impact these ladies, and maybe if there are gaps, what gaps are there and how can they be filled? Yeah, you can just...
Yeah, so when you talk about impact and what we do with the girls, I think one of the things that's very inspiring to us is, since we started and now, the impact is very incredible because girls are able to share what they've gotten from Sky Girls. Each and every time we go to the ground, each and every time we go to a school, girls come and tell us that Sky has helped me to be more confident. Through Sky, I've been able to say no to things that I'm not comfortable to do, and also through Sky, they have gotten that sense of belonging. I think one of the, like, when you're talking of the gaps, one of the challenges that the girls go through is the pressure. It's the pressure to fit in. It's the pressure to do things to be accepted. So Sky just gives them that space to reflect and just decide what really matters to them. So just seeing girls being able to share what their journey with Sky Girls and where they were before they joined and after they joined is really what just satisfies us and fulfills us, to see that we are able to bring up a generation of girls that really know who they are and girls that make choices that are really proud of, and not following a crowd, but actually doing what matters to you. Yeah.
You know, even, you know, in line with what you've just said, we're living in the era of social media. So there's a lot happening, you know, there's a lot of comparison specifically. You know, when you talk matters, social media, you know, a young girl can go on social media and then they start comparing themselves, wondering, oh, how have they been able to achieve all of this at such a young age? I would want to get there. What should I do and what not? Sometimes it's negative pressure, sometimes it's positive pressure. Maybe is that something you're also addressing, you know, in Sky Girls?
Absolutely. I mean, the reason why we work with teenage girls, and it's one of the fewer programs that actually start as young as 12, right? Because we recognize that this is very formative stage in their life, right? So teen girls go through a lot of changes physical, first of all, psychological, you know, and social changes, right? And all these changes and the journey of discovering yourself really makes you vulnerable. You know, you're trying to figure yourself out, and it makes you vulnerable to a lot of influences in life. And if you're lucky, you have positive influence, positive role models. But if you're not, and you're exposed to, let's say, negative online pressure or online influence, then you can be very lost, right? So we do help girls to make choices, right? At the core of everything we do in Sky, it's all about what the choices that are true to you. And in fact, the motto of Sky Girls initiatives, be true to yourself, right? So like I said, and the girls are able to identify, okay, I'm really into dancing, I love cooking, I like sports and all that, right? So what we then do is to create different activities, the magazines, the board games, the dance classes and festivals where girls can come together and share their passions, not only with peers, but also with aspirational people. And we vet those aspirational people. If it's a TikTok celebrity, we vet them and make sure that they're in fact a positive role model, right? And now Sky Girls has become such a big initiative, so we almost reached that critical mass, right? And that community, big community of girls, kind of serve as a positive influence to other girls, right? They believe, because I'm a Sky Girl, I can say no to pressure. I can say no to peer pressure. I can say no to sexual pressure. I can say no to smoking, right? They're empowered and they're confident like that,
All right, let's get to talk about the materials that you've come with. There's the board game, there's the magazines. I don't know which ones you want to begin with, but one thing I love about all of this is that they're all free of charge. You don't sell this to the girls. So talk to me about them.
So maybe I can just chat about a board game, and Bree will walk you through the Sky magazine, right? So the board game is actually a most recent asset of Sky. We're very, very excited about it because first, it's one of a kind. You can't find anything like this in Kenya or in Africa, right? It's co-created with girls. Right? It's co-created with girls, and if you get to see the colors, and the pictures, it's Kenya, it's Nairobi, it's culture, So girls tell us how they want this to look like, right? What is also interesting about it is the scenarios, right? So the board game really is this gamified experience of girls going and facing some actual pressures in life, right? And also ability to navigate these pressures, right? So through the board games and through the scenarios, girls are able to see, okay, can I say yes to it? Can I say no? Can I negotiate? Can I avoid, right? Also for us to understand, for teen girls sometimes it's really hard to even say no. I don't know what words to use, right? So the board game really helps you to use the words, make choice, and then also understand what is the consequence. But it's also, as a game, it's filled with a lot of fun activities. It's a group activity. Girls are able to, rehearse the scenario, debate, play, laugh, and all that. So we play it with girls in estates and also in schools. The initial motivation for this game is really reaching girls in boarding schools, because they are not exposed to any other media channels, right? So we would go to the boarding school, play it with girls, and then leave the board game with them so they continue, learn and practice and have fun.
And I've gotten to go through some of the cards that you have, and I love the fact that, it feels very relatable, I can imagine, to the girls, because you've also gotten to mix up the languages. There's English, there's Swahili, there's even Sheng. So it feels quite relatable, and you're giving out scenarios that on a day-to-day you're likely to encounter these scenarios. So it's good that you're teaching them, yes, but in a fun way. They're playing it as a game, but they get to speak about how they would get themselves out of such a situation. So it's a really, really good initiative. So do you go around schools with it?
Yes.
And that's why you give them out?
Yes.
Yes, so we go to schools, we call them activations, we go to school activations, and we go depending on the number of girls in the school. So if a school has like 500, we go with like 10 board games, where we get to teach them how to play, and then we leave them in that school so that they can be playing probably on a Saturday, on a day that they don't, after classes. Also, we go with them to the estates. So during the holidays, we have what we call like Sky Caravan, where we go around our estates. We like go to a community hall. That day we meet like 300 girls. We have like 20 board games there. We play with them, but we don't leave them in the estates. But every now and then during the holidays, we go to like Kayole, Runda, Kilimani twice, like in that month, and then the girls get to enjoy the board game. And just something that I wanted to add. The board game is really important because other than just teaching us from the cards, the choices, it gets to spark conversations. And girls get to learn from each other, because I feel like sometimes teen girls feel judged, like I'm going through this and I'm going through it alone. So when they're playing and the other girls get to share, they get to learn that I'm actually not alone. And that helps them to open up more and to learn other than from what we have written for them. My friend did this, so if I get faced in this situation, I can just handle it like my friend did. So other than just them being able to learn from us, they get to learn from each and from themselves.
All right.
Yeah.
The magazines, I can see there are 3 issues.
Yes, we have 3 issues over here. Since we launched from 2020, we have this is we have done 16 issues.
If you can get them on camera.
Yeah. We are currently working on the 17th issue. So the magazines are really for, we write different articles, really just giving girls tips on how to navigate life again, depending on what particular theme do you want to focus on that. Like the one I have here is the goal getters. So this one we were focusing on just telling girls how whatever goals that you set now, whatever decisions you make now are going to affect your future. Again, this one we're just talking about friendships, because friendships is a very big part of teen girls' life. So just how you can set your boundaries, the people that you let in your life, how that affects your future, and also how that affects like right now. So we have different magazines. Again, they all have tips of how girls can handle different situations in life.
This is also given for free, and what is interesting about it that we have conversations. If we go to school and we want to talk about what are the standards, are your friends bringing you down or you know, helping you to achieve your goals, we get to have conversations with girls. Also, just to add, the articles are not only inspired by girls, but they're co-created with them. The scenarios are scenarios that girls would DM us on Instagram, you know, or put on TikTok or on our WhatsApp groups, right? So these are not fictional scenarios. They would say, if this happens and a friend asks me to choose between friends, what do I do? How do I navigate it, you know? So that what makes Sky very relatable to girls.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really informative and educative, because I've just opened this and I've flipped on this page that has things I wish my 15-year-old self knew. And if I was 15 years old, I would want to hear stories of what elder people, you know, elder girls would say about that particular age, because I'm sure that when they get to read this, they relate to it, you know. So there's things I wish I would tell my 15-year-old self on body and health, on peer pressure, on boys, on friendships, on the future. So are these stories from the people you work with as the role models, or how do you go about it? Yes.
So some of the, let's say, celebrity feature, we'll call it spotlights. So there are different segments in the magazine. Some are the aspirational people that girls look up to, right? It's really not up to us to decide. They would say, I would really like X person, you know, and we would reach out to this person and say, you know, our teen girls really want to hear from you. Of course, we do all the background check, all the vetting, you know, and they're willing to participate. Some of them have been working with us for years, you know, and they serve as positive role models to those girls.
So schools being closed, they're almost closing in a couple of days, and it's going to be a really long holiday for the young ones. I believe 2 months of holiday, the whole of November, the whole of December, and then they go back to school in January. So this is quite a crucial time for most teenagers, because this is the point where they can either break themselves or make something of themselves during this time, because they'll be quite idle. So maybe even for the parents who are watching the show this morning, and they would love to know where they can have their teen girls engaged during this long holiday period, where can they get you? Is there a particular place where they can find you? Is there an office where this activity is happening that they can just enroll their girls?
So being a 2 months holiday that's coming up, we have a lot planned for the girls. To start with, we have a safe space in Ngong Road. That's in Marsabit Plaza, room M02. That's a space where girls can come from Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's Wednesday to Sunday. Each and every day we have different activities. We have bead making, we have dance classes. But again, as they're doing these fun activities, we get to have a discussion on the magazine with them. We get to talk about their health. We get to talk about their friendships. We get to talk about smoking, you know, how to say no to things that you're not comfortable doing. And other than that, now our space in Ngong Road, we are going to the estate ourselves. We are going to the estates from like around November 15th to all the way to December. We'll also be going to the malls. And once we go to the estates, we are going distributing our magazine, which is the new issue that's coming out. And we'll also be in the community halls and the school halls around the estates. We'll be spending the day with the girls, like the whole day, playing the board game with them, going into each article with the girls, just for them to get to understand. Because sometimes, and something we have realized, the younger girls, they really don't understand the magazine. So we have to sit down with them and take them through. So we're going to be spending days, some days with the girls in the estates, just going through the magazines, showing them the board game, just having conversations with them. And also we are going to be doing mobile theaters.
Mobile theaters and launch pass. So I think in short answer would be follow us on our Instagram at SkyGirlsKE. Whether you're a parent, whether you're a teenage girl, that's where we will provide all the updates. You know, we have a movie coming out in national TV. You know, we have a lot of activities planned, but we will be updating everyone through our social media channels.
So you also have plays and short films
Yes.
I've gotten to see on your YouTube channel. So you know, even looking at that particular side of it, maybe just what's the importance of having as many activities as possible? Because, you know, aside from this, there's also the plays. You've mentioned there's a TV show also coming up and all of that. Just, you know, what role does it play in all of this?
Yes. So all in all, I would say it's an impact, right? Because we recognize that some girls, let's say, they're not on social media as much as they want to be, but they are not on social media. That's why we go on ground. That's why we go on national TV. With every channel, we hit different audiences. So for example, our PA, Born to Fly, it's a fictional teen drama. It's a family show. It's being watched with parents. And through storylines, we raise some very important social issues that girls go through. But this is an opportunity for girls and parents to talk, right? To kind of establish that first initial conversation. And because it's not about them, but about the character, the conversations go easy, right? Let's say through board game, it's a rehearsal, right? Through some on-ground activities, it's ability or you know, opportunity to meet with aspirational person and just get that inspiration going, right? So every channel has a role to play, and for us, when we're delivering this impact, and because we are girl first, message second, you know, we put a lot of kind of effort and time spent on really understanding what girls like, what they would engage with, right? And that only can happen through multi-channel approach. So we reach girls multiple times through multiple channels, and that's what makes Sky very, very effective.
Yeah, and I like that you work with teenagers, you know, from the ages of 12, because that's the right time to just start molding them, start showing them that they can take up space. You're allowed to be yourself. You're allowed to take up space. I can just imagine how that feels like for you, you know, as you get to engage with all these girls and giving them that opportunity to just be. You know, for the longest time, girls have been left out. I know nowadays people are saying we've really empowered the woman and forgotten the boy child, but it's been years of girls being left out. So this is actually the proper time, I believe.
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and this is the best way to go about it. And probably just to talk a bit about mentorship and people having role models they can look at, you know, and try to channel what they see in them. Maybe if you can speak a bit about that, the role of mentorship in all of this.
I think because we don't position Sky as a mentorship program, girls really learn indirectly, right? So we have our other partners that are in similar space, right? It's just the Sky is, you know, our approach is really engage first, get their attention. And whoever works with teenagers know keeping teenagers' attention is a task on its own, right? How do you get their attention, engage them, maintain it, and then also get them to trust, really to trust what you're saying, right? So it's a reach, don't preach approach kind of thing, right? So when girls are coming, they almost like they're willing to learn, right? And again, they will tell us, let's say, I love Nasieku, right? And we will invite Nasieku to interact with them, to dance with them and all. And then through that interaction, Nasieku would say, you know, my thing are dancing, good friends, good vibes, and let's say smoking is not my thing. That message on its own sinks in much more effectively than it's a workshop and a lecture. And I'm not trying to say that mentorship is not effective. I think it has a place to play. Sky is really an engagement platform, engagement and empowerment platform, you know, and girls learn from each other. It's peer-to-peer and also from aspirational people through game, through play.
So for you, you're very intentional about doing all of this through the games, the play. You're very passionate about that, or rather intentional, you're intentional about that specifically because you don't want it to seem like lectures. You want them to come, play, but get to go home, you know, having grasp a thing or two that would help them, you know, in their day-to-day. Maybe how many girls have you gotten to work with so far? Do you have the numbers or?
Yeah, we've reached like hundreds of thousands, but just this August holiday, Nairobi and Kisumu, we were able to interact, and this is face-to-face, with, to be specific, 126,000 girls.
Wow. In 1 month.
Yeah, in 1 month. So November, December being 2 months, I believe we're gonna go higher.
Okay.
In terms of reach, there are millions, right? Because we reach through national TV, through social media, and through all on-ground activities. But face-to-face, on average, let's say during school season, we are averaging about 40, 50,000, but on a school break, that's where we get really busy and girls come to us. So we reach 120, 150,000 for face-to-face interaction. You know, the impact is really mass, but the most important channels for us are the girls themselves. They carry the initiative, they go and they speak about Sky and what they've experienced to their friends, to their siblings, you know. So even if we engage, let's say 120,000 girls in that month, I think the impact is far beyond because of the spillover effect.
And Sky is not just operational in Kenya alone. You were telling me earlier on, so maybe you can touch on that too.
Yeah, we are actually a Pan-African initiative. We're in 7 countries, right? And in Kenya we launched in 2020, but Sky as an initiative was initially launched in Botswana in 2013, right? And now we're in Botswana, Zambia, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Kenya, Nigeria, so we're in multiple places. And the core of the program is different. I mean, it's the same, but how it's being executed is differently. So Bri and I are in charge of now execution in Kenya. But the core of Sky is very similar across all countries.
All right. One of the narratives that you're pushing, or not narrative, one of the things that you're pushing is the HPV vaccine, as you had mentioned earlier on when we were beginning. And I would love to know, you know, on matters that, are you engaging with the parents as well? Because now, when it comes to the vaccine, maybe it's not just about the young girls. It is for them, yes, but we need the input of their parents or their guardians. So is this something that you also do?
Yes.
So when we're talking about HPV vaccine and we're talking to girls, for us it's more just giving the information, and knowledge is power. So what we do is give the information to girls because we believe what also Sky does is shaping positive pester power, where these thing girls can go and talk to their parents and tell them about this thing, and then the parent will get educated. Because you can agree with me, even when you are teen girls, through your pestering power, you could tell your parents something and they would believe, or maybe do more research on that. So we don't offer the vaccine, we just give the information, but also something we also tell girls, talk to a trusted adult, talk to your mom, talk to your sister, so that they can take that next step to either take you to the hospital or to research more and know the next step to do. But it's not for the teen girls to decide, I want to do this, and go ahead to do it.
All right. Thank you so very much, ladies, for the work that you do. You're doing an amazing job for the girls, and for the parents who are watching us, for the guardians who are watching us, you know where to take you, where to engage your girls, to the activities to engage your teenage girls in during this long holiday season. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank